Welcome, UCL fans, to the Week 3 review and rankings for the United Championship League. My name is Nintendo Fanatic 64, and I have crunched the numbers and came up with an accurate system for the rankings for the United Championship League. Now, I would like to mention once again, I am in no way affiliated with the United Championship League or any of its coaches. But before we get now into the rankings, we're going to go over the review of all 8 matches that took place this past week. Starting off, we have the Tucson Terrakions entering into Week 3 with a 2-0 record, taking on the South Beach Slow Kings, whose record is only 0-2. And the winners with a 2-0 outcome was the Tucson Terrakions. The MVP for Tucson would go to the Gastrodon and the Swallow that had 2 knockouts each in their match. Next up, we have the Bristol City Blazekins entering into Week 3 with a record of 2-0, taking on the Newcastle Nidokings, who enter into Week 3 with a record of only 0-2. But with a 3-0 victory went to the Newcastle Nidokings. MVP for Newcastle actually went to Haxorus, who had 5 knockouts in the match and actually sweeping the team in the end. Next up, we have the New York Mankeys with a record of 1-1, taking on the Tulsa Talonflames, who had a record of 0-2. And with a 2-0 victory went to the Tulsa Talonflames. MVP for Tulsa went to Salamance, that had 3 knockouts in the match. Next up, we have the Philadelphia Feraligators with a record of 1-1, taking on the Bronx Beartigs with a record of 2-0. And a 4-0 victory went to the Bronx Beartigs. The MVP for Bronx would go to the Mega Ampharos and the Tornadus Therian, who had 2 knockouts each in the match. Next, we have the St. Louis Rampardos entering into Week 3 with a record of 2-0, taking on the Long Island Reggie Rockies, who have a record of 1-1. And we have a 3-0 victory going to the Long Island Reggie Rockies. MVP for Long Island will go to Mamoswine, who had 3 knockouts in the match. Up next, we have the Carolina Keldios entering into Week 3 with a record of 2-0, taking on the Durham Drudagun, also with a record of 2-0. And we have a 3-0 victory in favor of the Durham Drudaguns. The MVP for Durham would go to the Mega Charizard X, who had 2 knockouts each. 2 knockouts in it. Our next match, we have the Pittsburgh Pichus entering into Week 3 with a record of 1-1, taking on the Manchester Magnazones, who have a record of 0-2 right now. And we have a 5-0 victory for the Pittsburgh Pichus. MVP for Pittsburgh is a tie between the Keldeo and the Alomomola, each with 2 knockouts. Finally, we have the Grand Canyon Greninjas, who enter into Week 3 with a record of 0-2, taking on the Toronto Tokakis, also with a record of 0-2. And with a narrow 1-0 victory went to the Grand Canyon Greninjas. The MVP for Grand Canyon goes to Rotom Wash and Nidoking, each with 2 knockouts. Now that we have gone over all 8 matches, it's time to rank them. Now, the way the ranking system will work on this channel is I give 1 point for every time someone knocks out a Pokemon, and they lose 1 point every time one of their Pokemon get knocked out. Now, someone cannot earn a point if someone's Pokemon is knocked out due to recoil damage, life orb, or any unforeseen circumstances. If they do get knocked out from like from a poison, burn, or stealth rock type damage, they will still earn points. But if they fall due to recoil damage, they will not earn a point. If a Pokemon falls due to life orb taking them out, they will not earn a point. So, with a minus 12, starting off at number 16, we have the South Beach Slow Kings. So they have a long way to go if they want to try and make it into the running for the playoffs. At number 15, also with a minus 12, we have the Manchester Magnazones. Both teams right now do have a 0-3 record going into the Week 4 now. At number 14, with a score of minus 8, we have the Toronto Tokakis, whose record now stands at 0-3. They still have a long way to go, but they have at least they're at least not at the bottom of everything. At number 13, we have a score of minus 5. We have the Tulsa Talonflames, whose record is now 1-2. At number 12, with a score of -4, we have the Grand Canyon Greninjas, whose record is now 1-2. At number 11, with a score of -3, we have the Newcastle Nido-Kings, whose record is now 1-2. At number 10, with a -3, we have the Carolina Keldios, whose record now stands at 2-1. Up next, at number 9, with a score of -1, we have the Philadelphia Fur Alligators, whose record is now 1-2. At number 8, with a score of +1, we have the New York Yankees with a record of 1-2. At number 7, with a score of +1, we have the St. Louis Rampardos with a record now of 2-1. At number 6, with a score of +2, we have the Long Island Reggie Rockies, who now have a 2-1 record. At number 5, we have, with a score of +5, we have the Bristol City Blazekins, who now have a 2-1 record. At number 4, with a score of +5, we have the Pittsburgh Pichus, who have a 2-1 record right now. At number 3, with a score of +6, we have the Bronx Beartigs, who now have a 3-0 record. At number 2, we have the Durham Drudiguns with a +10 score and a 3-0 record. And then finally, at number 1, with a +10, we have the Tucson Terrakions, also entering in with a 3-0 record. So, rounding off the top, we have 3 teams that are currently undefeated in the UCL, and at the bottom we have 3 teams that have yet to get a win. So that's still anyone's game. It's only week 3, and we're going into week 4. We will see what happens. Maybe these ranks will change dramatically. Who knows? We will find out this Saturday when the teams take on their week 4 opponents. But I will be back next week with another review and ranking. So if you enjoyed this video, please make sure you show your support by leaving a thumbs up on it or subscribing to my channel for more UCL information. Of course, if you wish to stay up to date with everything related to the UCL, you should follow them on Twitter. I will have a link. I'll have their Twitter linked in the description below, as well as my Twitter. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all next week.